All right, today we are going to do two homework problems from lesson 27, module 4, and we're going to start off with problem number 3. Number 3 says a pitcher of water contains 1/4 liter water. The water is poured equally into 5 glasses. How many liters of water are in each glass? Draw a picture to support your response. And then part B says write the amount of water in each glass in milliliters. So we're going to have to do a conversion at the end. So to start off with, we have a pitcher of water that contains 1/4 of a liter. So we have learned that when we need to draw a tape diagram and we have a fraction to start us off with, we go ahead and put the whole at the top and we illustrate the fraction that we have by shading it. So we have 1/4 of the whole liter. The water is poured equally into 5 glasses. So that means that we're taking this 1/4 and we're going to pour it into 5 different glasses. So we're going to go ahead and make our partitions to create the 5 glasses or the fifths. Okay, so when you think about this, and they're barely fitting in there. When you are thinking about this, this is showing us again why we make reciprocals when we're dividing with fractions. So if we have the problem itself, we're going to be solving for one of these glasses. And the way that translates into our math problem is if we have 1/4 divided by the 5 glasses, what we're really saying is that we have 1/4 times all of these fifths that we created by making those cuts to create the image of the glass that we were pouring, distributing the fourth into. So we end up with 1/4 multiplied by 1/5, which equals 1/20. And the question says how many liters of water are in each glass? 1/20 liter is in each glass. Okay. Part B says write the amount of water in each glass in milliliters. So if we know that we have 1/20 of a liter and we are converting that to milliliters, we need to think to ourselves, okay, if I have 1/20 and I'm going from a big unit of measurement to a small unit of measurement, that means I'm going to multiply. And you need to think, how many milliliters are in a liter? Well, there are 1,000. So when we set this problem up, it's helpful to go ahead and throw a 1 under that because then you can look for cross simplification. In this case, you would have to do it anyway at the very end. But if we take a look here, you can see that you have 20 and 1,000. You can simplify this by 20 on both sides. So if you think how many 20s are in 100, there are 5. And how many 20s are in 0? 0. And so our answer is 50. 50 milliliters. The next problem we're going to do is going to be problem number 5. I forgot to take this page out. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can get you guys a better angle than you have been having. Okay, so this is a fairly long problem, so let's get started. A container is filled with blueberries. 1/6 of the blueberries are poured equally into bowls. What fraction of the blueberries is in each bowl? So if we take a look at our problem again, we can see that we have a container. 1/6 of the blueberries are poured equally into 2 bowls, and we want to know what fraction of the blueberries is in each bowl. So to determine this, we have to address this 1/6 as our total. So if 1/6 is our total, we would create our sixth. This is our one whole, and we have 1/6 of the blueberries that we're dealing with. They're taking that 1/6 and they are pouring them into 2 equal bowls. So that's a nice little simple model for us, since we only have to take each section and cut it in a half. So our problem looks like 1/6 divided into the 2 bowls, which we now know is really the same thing as saying 1/6 multiplied by the halves that we have created, the number of halves we have created. So this would be halves. I'm sorry, that kind of came out wrong. It's 1/6 multiplied by the half, and to determine how many we created, we would multiply. So we end up with 1/12. 1/12 of the blueberries will be in each bowl. Okay, now let's continue on. If each bowl has 6 ounces of blueberries in it, how many ounces of blueberries were in the full container? Now, this is giving us some important information. It says if each bowl has 6 ounces of blueberries in it. So that means that what they've done is they've basically told us what each of these little partitions, each of these halves actually has in them. And they each have 6 ounces. Okay, so just so that you can really see what's going on, because it says if each bowl has 6 ounces. This was the first bowl that we created. This is the second bowl. Okay, so each of these represents 6. Now, obviously you don't have to squeeze in all these 6s. I'm just doing it so you can really see what's going on in there. How many ounces of blueberry were in the full container? So that means they want to know how many blueberries were in, how many ounces of blueberries were in this entire container. So we know that we have 6 ounces multiplied by the 12 sections that were created when we divided by 2. So we're going to take 6 ounces and we are going to multiply it by 12. And we end up with 72 ounces. Okay, that's what was in the whole container.